Science calls it biology. Others may feel something greater, as if a presence has arrived, quietly stepping into form. This is not just the beginning of life. It is the beginning of story, of soul, of self. The moment of fertilization marks the inception of a new human life, a complex and finely tuned biological process. Among the myriad events that unfold during this critical juncture, the zinc spark stands out as a luminous testament to the intricate choreography of cellular interactions. This phenomenon, characterized by a burst of zinc ions released from the egg upon activation, has captivated scientists and holds promising implications for reproductive medicine. The phenomenon was first observed in mammalian eggs, including those of mice and humans, using advanced imaging techniques. Researchers employed fluorescent probes sensitive to zinc ions, such as fluorescein-3, to visualize the sudden release of zinc from the egg's cortical vesicles upon activation. This release manifests as a radiant burst, akin to microscopic fireworks, signifying the egg's transition from a dormant state to one primed for embryonic development. In 2011, a collaborative team at Northwestern University, led by Teresa K. Woodruff and Thomas V. O'Halloran, published a seminal study in ACS Chemical Biology detailing the occurrence of zinc sparks in mouse eggs. Their research demonstrated that upon fertilization, mouse eggs release billions of zinc atoms in a series of coordinated bursts, a process essential for the egg's progression through the cell cycle and subsequent embryonic development. Building upon this foundational work, the same research team made a groundbreaking discovery in 2016. Utilizing cutting-edge imaging techniques, they captured the first images of zinc sparks in human eggs. The study, published in Scientific Reports, revealed that human eggs, upon activation by a sperm enzyme, emit a burst of zinc ions, the intensity of which correlates with the egg's quality and its potential to develop into a viable embryo. This discovery was made possible through unique interdisciplinary collaboration that combined expertise in biology, chemistry, and advanced imaging. The team developed sensitive fluorescent sensors capable of detecting zinc ions in live cells, allowing them to observe the zinc spark phenomenon in real time. Their work not only provided a deeper understanding of the molecular events that occur during fertilization, but also opened new avenues for assessing egg quality in assisted reproductive technologies. Upon fertilization, the sperm introduces factors that trigger a cascade of intracellular events within the egg. One of the earliest responses is a rise in intracellular calcium levels, which in turn prompt the exocytosis of zinc-rich vesicles located just beneath the egg's plasma membrane. The coordinated release of zinc ions into the extracellular space constitutes the zinc spark. This event is not merely a byproduct of activation, but plays a pivotal role in modulating subsequent developmental processes. The zinc spark serves as a molecular switch that facilitates the egg's exit from meiotic arrest. Prior to fertilization, the egg is halted in metaphase 2 of meiosis. The release of zinc ions alleviates this arrest, allowing the egg to complete meiosis and commence the mitotic divisions necessary for embryogenesis. Experimental studies have demonstrated that artificially chelating intracellular zinc can mimic this effect, underscoring zinc's critical role in cell cycle regulation. The successful fertilization of an egg by a single sperm marks the true beginning of embryonic development. However, for this union to result in a healthy zygote, it is critical that only one sperm penetrates the egg. Fertilization by more than one sperm, a condition known as polyspermy, results in an embryo with an abnormal number of chromosomes, leading to early embryonic arrest, miscarriage, or non-viable development. To prevent polyspermy, the egg must activate defensive mechanisms almost immediately after first sperm enters. One of the most recently discovered and significant of these defense mechanisms is the zinc spark, a brilliant flash of light resulting from the rapid exocytosis of zinc ions from the egg. This release of zinc plays a key role in altering the egg's outer structures, making it impermeable to additional sperm. The traditional understanding of polyspermy prevention. Before the discovery of the zinc spark, the mechanisms preventing polyspermy were primarily attributed to two sequential events. The fast block, an immediate change in the egg's membrane potential upon sperm fusion, making the membrane temporarily unreceptive to other sperm. The cortical reaction, a slower but longer-lasting response involving the exocytosis of cortical granules. These granules release enzymes into the space between the egg membrane and the zona pellucida, leading to biochemical hardening of the zona and deterring additional sperm. These mechanisms, while effective, are not completely foolproof. Polyspermy is still observed in vitro and under certain abnormal conditions, especially in human IVF settings. This led scientists to investigate additional molecular players in the egg's post-fertilization defense strategy, and that is where zinc entered the picture. The zinc spark's contribution to the zona pellucida defense. Research conducted at Northwestern University and other institutions revealed that shortly after the egg is activated by the fertilizing sperm, massive quantities of zinc ions, up to 1 billion per egg, are released into the extracellular space in a series of waves known as zinc sparks. But what does zinc actually do in this context? Zinc ions are believed to play a biochemical role in remodeling the zona pellucida, thereby strengthening its structural integrity. They alter the conformation and cross-linking of the zona's glycoproteins, enhancing its resistance to enzymatic penetration by subsequent sperm. This action complements the enzymes released during the cortical reaction, forming a multi-layered shield. In essence, the zinc spark acts as a molecular lock, closing the door just after the first sperm is entered, ensuring that no others can follow. It provides an additional biochemical layer of protection, likely evolved to maximize the accuracy of fertilization and prevent chromosomal chaos. Evidence from animal and human studies. In mouse models, scientists observed that eggs which emitted stronger zinc sparks were significantly more resistant to polyspermy. When the zinc release was inhibited or artificially modulated, the incidence of polyspermy increased. Similarly, in human eggs activated with specific enzymes, researchers saw that eggs with robust zinc spark activity demonstrated higher fidelity in sperm exclusion. Further research using imaging with zinc-sensitive fluorescent probes confirmed that the zinc spark is not a vague chemical shift. It's a precise, regulated process that correlates with the structural changes of the zona pellucida and the cortical granule reaction. Clinical implications in fertility treatments. Understanding the zinc spark's role in preventing polyspermy has major implications for assisted reproductive technologies. In vitro fertilization, polyspermy is a known complication, particularly when conventional insemination methods are used. While intracytoplasmic sperm injection minimizes this risk by manually injecting a single sperm into the egg, the zinc spark still offers potential diagnostic value. For example, measuring the zinc spark intensity in real time might help clinicians confirm that the egg is properly activated and begun its post-fertilization defense sequence. Eggs that fail to exhibit a strong zinc spark may be at higher risk for fertilization anomalies and could be excluded from embryo transfer. Furthermore, this discovery prompted deeper investigation into how zinc deficiency or micronutrient imbalances in the female reproductive system might influence the egg's ability to prevent polyspermy. Naturally, if zinc levels are inadequate during oocyte maturation, the spark may be weakened or absent, increasing the risk of developmental errors. A new layer in the egg's arsenal. The zinc spark does not replace the previously known defenses. It enhances and supports them. It functions in parallel with electrical and enzymatic blocks to create a multifaceted, multi-layered system that secures the fertilization process with remarkable precision. This level of molecular coordination reflects the biological priority of genomic integrity in reproduction. Evolution has endowed the egg not just with static shield, but with a dynamic, responsive defense system that activates within seconds of sperm fusion. The zinc spark is not just a flash of light. It is a symbol of the egg's immediate cell protection, a literal burst of action in defense of life's most critical event. The intensity and pattern of the zinc spark have been correlated with the developmental potential of the egg. Eggs exhibiting robust and well-defined zinc sparks are more likely to progress to healthy embryos. This correlation offers a non-invasive metric for assessing egg quality, which could revolutionize selection criteria in assisted reproductive technologies, such as in vitro fertilization. One of the most significant implications of the zinc spark lies in its potential use as a biomarker for egg quality. Currently, assessing the quality of oocytes in IVF procedures is a complex and often imprecise process. Embryologists primarily rely on morphological criteria, such as the shape, texture, and symmetry of the oocyte and embryo, which are inherently subjective and do not necessarily reflect the internal health of the cell. By contrast, the zinc spark provides a measurable, non-invasive, and highly specific indicator of the oocyte's readiness for fertilization and its developmental potential. Research has shown that oocytes that emit stronger, more organized zinc sparks are more likely to lead to viable embryos. This could help fertility specialists select the most promising eggs with greater confidence, improving outcomes and reducing the emotional and financial toll on patients undergoing fertility treatment. If integrated into clinical practice, the zinc spark could revolutionize embryo selection protocols in IVF clinics. With better tools to evaluate which oocytes are most viable before fertilization, embryologists could reduce the number of embryos needed to achieve pregnancy. This would result in fewer required cycles, reduced need for embryo freezing, and lower rates of multiple pregnancies caused by transferring multiple embryos at once. This makes IVF not only more effective, but also safer and more ethical. Pre-implantation genetic testing and extended embryo culture to the blastocyst stage are currently used to select embryos with the highest potential. However, these techniques are expensive, invasive, and can expose embryos to risk. If the zinc spark can reliably predict the potential of an oocyte before fertilization, it might reduce the need for such invasive post-fertilization testing, thus streamlining the IVF process. The zinc spark also reveals broader truths about how trace metals like zinc contribute to critical cellular processes. Its role in halting and resuming the cell cycle, preventing polyspermy, and supporting early development challenges prior assumptions about oocyte biology. The phenomenon underscores the importance of micronutrient regulation in fertility and embryogenesis, which could influence nutrition and supplementation strategies for women trying to conceive. In the future, monitoring or even modulating the zinc spark could serve not only in selecting viable eggs, but potentially in improving them, offering hope to individuals facing infertility due to age or diminished ovarian reserve. Beyond an immediate role in fertilization, the zinc spark exemplifies the broader significance of trace metals in cellular signaling and development. Zinc's involvement in enzyme function, gene expression, and structural stabilization underscores its multifaceted contributions to biology. The discovery of the zinc spark has prompted renewed interest in the nuanced roles of metal ions in reproductive physiology. Ongoing research aims to elucidate the precise molecular pathways governing the zinc spark and its downstream effects. Investigations into how zinc interacts with other signaling molecules, the temporal dynamics of zinc release, and the potential for modulating this process therapeutically are areas of active exploration. Additionally, studies are examining the conservation of the zinc spark across species, providing insights into the evolutionary underpinnings of fertilization mechanisms. In a world that seeks proof, the spark reminds us that beginnings are often both visible and invisible, measured in volts and miracles alike. And while researchers see ions and fluorescence, perhaps we are also witnessing the divine spark that animates a body into being. So next time you think of life's beginning, remember, it may start not with a heartbeat, but with shimmer of light in sacred darkness, where the soul is invited in and the body says, "I'm ready." Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.